J.K. Dobbins has been disappointing fantasy managers for years, and right when his price drops, he's averaging 16.2 points per game this year and potentially winning you a championship. We're going to take a look at the film and the stats to see if Dobbins can continue this pace and win you your league, or if he's just getting lucky and is going to fall off a cliff in the second half of the season. To kick things off, we're going to answer that nagging question right off the bat. How explosive is Dobbins? And the way we're going to do that is by looking at his outside runs. It's never typically been his uber strong suit, but especially coming off that injury from last year and years prior, it's going to be super important. We want to see how he runs to the outside and if his breakaway speed and that explosiveness is still there. So first play we're going to look at Dobbins in the backfield. You'll see it's going to be an outside run to the left, and Dobbins sets up nice with blocking, gets to the outside, sees a hole lane right here, and does a great job. The thing with Dobbins, and we're going to see this over and over on the film, is his ability to use his vision and make up for anything else he lacks. Now he's in the open field, and he has a pretty good shot of taking this almost to the house. He does get caught up on this player right here, who takes a pretty good angle, but he stiffs arm him and takes it in for the touchdown. Stretch left, and here we're going to see the incredible vision from Dobbins on display. He's going to get the ball. He sees the hole filled up right here. There's really nothing he can do. This defender is free. There's no space in the middle. He has to make something out of nothing and find the smallest sliver. That's exactly what he does. Sidesteps back, waits for 44 to clear away for him, and gets to the outside. Does a good job getting to the second level. Tries to make a spin, falls forward for a few yards. That's a fantastic play right there from Dobbins. Same concept we've been seeing again, stretch left. We're going to see it over and over on these plays. Gets to the outside, does a great job eluding the first tackle in the backfield, gets around this defender, and does a nice job getting the edge, getting through these two defenders. Three people have to bring him down, and that's that short compact frame, which we're going to see in the inside zones more so. But fantastic body control, good job getting to the outside, showing his burst. That's a really good play and also a very encouraging sign to see if you're coming off that injury like Dobbins is. Before we get too far into the film, I want to take a quick break and look at Dobbins' PFF profile. We've seen that he's been close to 70 for a lot of these games on his PFF rushing grade. Week 1, best game in the year according to his PFF grade with the 74.3. Week 6, he also had a great game, 69.4, and last week against the Browns, he also had a 67.3. You're seeing it a lot in the 60s, mid-60s to high 60s, so that's a very good sign. He's only really had one bad stretch this year where he had 2.9 and 2.3 yards per attempt. Both those games, he was just under 50, a 50 PFF grade. But the last thing and most important thing I want to take a look at is his breakaway percentage. That's going to be the most important thing because with Dobbins coming off all these injuries, we want to know how explosive he is. And we'll see he clearly doesn't have elite burst anymore or elite breakaway speed. But I want to see what the stats say. According to the stats this year, he's at 37.9% breakaway percentage, which definitely isn't great, but it's not as bad as you may think. You would think that someone like him coming off that massive injury would be only good between the tackles, only getting what's given to him and not explosive at all, but he's close to 40%, basically 38%, which is solid. It's not hindering his performance too much, and it's not something that I expect to fall off towards the end of the year. Honestly, I would think that his lowest percentage would be closer to the start of the year. Obviously, it's a little messed up in some of these games. He didn't have any of them. But first game, 79.3%. Second game, 44.3%, and then 20.8%. Last week, 58.8%. So you see, it's sporadic. It's definitely not very consistent, but I do expect this to continue and be pretty solid. Get even better as the season goes on and Dobbins continues to feel more healthy and get his legs under him. So that's definitely something to note. Lined up in the backfield, this is going to be more of a sweep. It's not a direct outside zone like the rest of them are. Dobbins gets the ball, does a great job. He has all this space in the middle, and now all I have to do is finish the play. Explode through the hole, turn this into a touchdown, and that's going to help us get these fantasy points on Sunday. Does just that, makes a man miss, diving for his ankles, and gets into the end zone. He's not getting caught. He's turning that into 6 points, which is absolutely crucial for your fantasy teams. We'll see a lot more of this later in the inside zone, but getting in the end zone for fantasy football is absolutely crucial. Again, outside concept, this is going to be really just an outside zone. Dobbins gets the ball, follows his blocking well, and he sees he either needs to get through 32, Tyrann Mathieu, or he can try and get to the outside. Here, he gets the ball, does a good job getting away from all the chaos in the middle. Tyrann Mathieu tries to hit him. Dobbins runs right through him and scores 6 points, walking in fairly easily. Now that we saw the outside runs, we're going to see what John Harbaugh loves to do, and that's the inside run. It fits the Chargers' identity, and good thing it fits J.K. Dobbins as well. That's why he had him on the Ravens. He wanted him on the Chargers. He was always going to have a role as long as he was healthy. Here, we're going to see exactly why, as Dobbins does a great job. Pretty simple inside dive, gets around this defender, diving at his ankles, and breaks through the middle, puts a nice, and that's just fantastic. Let's run this back real quick. He's in a one-on-one with this defender. Instead of trying to run him over, he recognizes that 88 is going to be here in front of him and is going to be able to give him a block. That's just fantastic vision, and that's truly an elite trait. Gets around this guy, and he recognizes, again, 88 coming up the field is going to throw him a block either there, he's going to make him miss, or what he ends up doing is clearing out the guy on his right. So now, instead of having to try and run through two guys and these two defenders are going to hit him from the left and the right, he now has a one-on-one on a defender with a bad angle and is able to burst through that hole and get a ton of extra yards on the play right there. Inside zone here, and this has massive fantasy implications. This kind of tells you the player he is. If Dobbins is going to be that elite pure runner that will score you rushing touchdowns, or if he's going to get caught short, going to hound you from those 6 points on a lot of drives. But no, here you're going to see inside zone does a great job seeing the congestion in the middle, bouncing it to the open lane right here, where now he's home free. He needs to score this opportunity. If you're a fantasy manager, you're screaming at your TV saying, Dobbins, I need you to get in and get me 6 points right here. Defender on his back, shrugs him off, breaks the tackle, doesn't get caught even with contact just before the goal line, and turns that into 6 points versus getting caught on the first tackle and then leaving it up to chance to either the Chargers not end up scoring or Justin Herbert throws for a touchdown, leaving you deprived of your 6 points. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. I just want to let you know that you can now request a film breakdown on the channel. The link will be in the description and the comments. Just sign up for the highest tier of our YouTube membership. Send us a message according to the description, and you can get set up right from there. Again, all you have to do is sign up for the highest tier. If you want to support us and don't want the film breakdown but want some of these other cool perks, which you see on screen, you can sign up for one of our lower tiers. Let's hop right back to the video. Great job by the Chargers offensive line, but this is truly just some unreal patience and unreal vision from Dobbins right here. You're not going to find a lot of running backs that are willing to sit back that long, get skinny through the hole, and just explode. Dobbins, this is a play right here where you think that he definitely should have housed it, and that is a little concerning. However, some context, this was week 1, as I talked about earlier in the PFF section. We did see his breakaway rates pretty solid, but I also mentioned that I expect those rates to go up from about 38% breakaway run percentage. I expect that rate to go up as the season goes on, as he gets his legs under him. This was really his first true football game in quite some time. So, while I definitely think that still is that type of situation where he's getting caught, definitely still happened and still shows up on his film, it's not as bad, and I think this honestly could be negated as the season goes on. If you want to know why I'm so confident that Dobbins is going to play so much for the rest of this year, why Kamani Vidal doesn't have a chance of taking away significant reps, this is why. 3 defenders on him, he makes a guy miss, and he falls forward, gets those extra yards. It doesn't look like much, but those type of plays are what the coaches love. Falling forward, getting those extra yards. That's what's going to get you on the field, and in a game where volume can win you weeks and get you points, that's extremely important to pay attention to on the film. I'm just going to sit back and let this one play out. Pretty basic inside dive concept, but what you're going to see right here just shows the toughness and physicality of Dobbins. You see him get swarmed by 3 defenders. He's absolutely trapped. I have no idea how he escapes. I'm just going to let it play because that is an unbelievable talent. These type of running backs that make those kind of plays aren't just average guys that luck into good weeks for a consistently averaging 16.2 points per game 9 weeks in a row. That just backs up the claim that Dobbins is truly a great running back. You don't just luck into that kind of play, and the same logic can apply to, you don't just luck into 16.2 points per game of that kind of production when you also have this kind of talent to back it up. Another red zone opportunity, this time about 5 yards out, and here we're going to see Dobbins get the carry and get hit almost immediately, breaks that tackle, breaks another one, extends forward, and you're not really going to be able to see that he crossed the plane on this replay angle, but they did end up ruling it a touchdown, and he avoids the first man and turns that into 6 points. Absolutely perfect, and just a huge boost for your fantasy teams. This is just another one of those runs where I'm just going to sit back and let it play, and Dobbins, I don't know how he does it. Great patience, stops, he realizes, oh, there's nothing here, I'm going to bounce to the outside, and then makes an acrobatic leap into the end zone. Fantastic play. That is truly something that not just any replacement, any average running back can do. For the last section of this video, we're going to take a look at these important targets and routes from Dobbins because he's never been a great pass catcher, but as long as he checks the box of looking like he can catch a football if he's open and if he's given a nice pass, then he's not going to get put off the field. If he's good enough for PPR leagues, he will catch some passes, maybe 2 to 3 per game, and get you some points there and not be a total dud, which is really all you need. So here, it's going to be a pretty simple screen pass. You want to see what Dobbins can do. Runs it fairly well and turns upfield, makes a nice play after the catch. Good job here. As long as he's able to run that screen pass and he doesn't need to be taken out for that kind of stuff, that's half the battle right there. Similar play design, we have a cross screen right here. Dobbins is just going to flash to the left side of your screen, and we'll see him turn up. As long as he can run this pretty well, does a good job sneaking out, catches the ball, makes a man miss, so nice job there as well, and gets a nice 10-ish yard gain. Both of those plays were screen passes. Here we're going to see Dobbins out of the backfield. This time, he's not in the backfield. He's lined up out wide, getting it cross towards the bottom of your screen right here. Going to be a little simple drag, and we'll watch it play out. Does a good job. Herbert scanning the field, just hits his check down, and Dobbins, after he's under some pressure, does a good job. Again, it's not within 2 yards of the quarterback. He has to make that looks like a 15-20 yard catch. He's 15-20 yards down the field. Does a good job, looks fairly natural, hauls it in, and rolls for a few extra yards. For the last play of this film breakdown, we're going to see Dobbins kind of run a wheel route right here, and that's probably the most difficult route that he can run. Has to catch it in stride, truly has to show some great hands there, and we'll see Herbert throws it, Dobbins catches it in stride, and picks up a nice gain there. After watching the film, I truly do believe Dobbins can keep up this league-winning pace based on where you drafted him, and I have him as my RB15 in my rest of season rankings, with the upside to finish even higher than that every single week. I have him above guys like James Conner, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift. So if you can find a league mate who values those players higher than Dobbins, I would highly recommend getting Dobbins. Or if you can use one of those players, bundle up a useless bench player or someone that isn't much value and get up to Dobbins, I would highly recommend doing so before your deadline, because from everything I've seen, Dobbins can truly win you your league and be dominant for the rest of the year. The only knock against Dobbins really is if he's going to get injured, and injuries are a guessing game that I can't predict, and neither can you, so that's out of the equation. The bottom line is Dobbins looks very good in between the tackles, which is the Chargers' identity. He looks pretty solid on the outside. His breakaway speed isn't, the same as it once was, but it's not hindering his performance either. And the Chargers' offensive line has allowed him to use his short, compact frame and to score some touchdowns. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.